used to teach at Fox Lane High School, not too far from Ossining, but also not too far from the nuclear power plant. We used to do an imagery activity before jumping into teaching like nuclear chemistry. We had a project, and the question was, how do we best prepare for an emergency at Indian Point, which is a very real thing around here. And they are planning to close the plant down. But for years, since I was a kid growing up here, they sent out pamphlets every year saying, are you safe? Are you ready? With these maps of where you would leave if there was a meltdown and an evacuation. And these were kids who were living just outside of that 10-mile radius, and people would have been evacuated to their schools should there have been an incident. And it wasn't a pro or cons of it wasn't for or against nuclear power or Indian Point. It was really about, this is something that's real, that's here. Have you connected to how chemistry could relate? So rather than starting my nuclear chemistry unit with, hey, let's learn about alpha particles and let's learn about fusion and fission, it was close your eyes. Let's imagine that there was an incident at Indian Point, and we would go through it, and I would just compile their questions at that moment. The kids didn't ask me about atoms. These were high school chemistry kids. They asked me about like their dog. Like, well, if there's an evacuation, is my dog okay? Or like, my sister is at the middle school, or like, my mom works right near there. Or they asked things that were human, that they connected to and cared about. There was no way of getting to the science without that. And in that moment that, oh my goodness, what I'm about to learn could influence people I love, or the way I think, or will my cell phone work if there's an issue, all of a sudden made it real, primed the learning as we were about to move into it. And therefore it was their questions that would lead the way. If I leave here, should my car windows be open? Okay, like, I don't know, like, let's do some learning about that. Right, what are radioactive isotopes? Oh, everybody's interested in learning about this. Let's talk about gamma radiation. Tomorrow we'll do a mini lesson on that, because the questions were therefore coming from them as opposed to somebody in the front of the room. And that might be a way that I think about managing and designing moments to prime kids and move them forward. Thank you for just being here, and hopefully it helps some of you open up some doors in your own mind for work with kids. Thanks.